Let's talk about selling products on Instagram. Look who's here to say hi! It's this little magnificent creature. So I know you're probably on the gram just absolutely frustrated while I'm posting every single day. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I'm using hashtags. The most common mistake that I see a lot of business owners, entrepreneurs, artists make is that they don't identify who it is that they're targeting. And I get it. I know the temptation of wanting to target everyone because you feel like if you don't, then you're gonna miss out on someone. But as a matter of fact, you can't please everyone. You're not a Nutella jar. You're not a slice of pizza. So we gotta really put that in check. Basically, you really need to be thinking about one person and one person only. I want you to become like the best friend that your dream customer never had. You want to get into the mindset of people, into thinking, oh my God, I feel like this person is actually talking to me. I feel like their product is specifically made for me. And if you are trying to address everyone, that's not what you're gonna achieve. So when I was a henna artist, I knew that my ideal customer was a South Asian bride. Notice I didn't target everyone. I didn't say all women, I said South Asian brides. And when I really pinpointed who it is that I'm targeting, I started producing content pieces that is really going to leverage those kinds of customers. Really dive into exactly who it is that you're after, because that's the only way that you're gonna be able to start attracting them, because you're gonna start to create content and you're gonna start to develop content pieces that is going to attract that kind of clientele. Which actually brings me to my next point. Start posting quality photos on your Instagram, specifically quality photos of the products that you are trying to sell. And while we're on that, I actually have a video that you can check out right here on how you can grab quality images with nothing other than your phone. So you definitely want to check that video out. So Instagram is a highly visual platform, meaning unless you post quality photos of the stuff that you sell, nobody really is going to be following you, because people are mainly on Instagram to look at pretty pictures or follow accounts that they can resonate with, or obviously follow family members or friends. But as a business, you really want to be showcasing your products in a way that is resonating with your followers or with your ideal customers, to show them how your products are going to fit in their life. Now, there are several types of images that's really going to help speak volumes of your product to your everyday customer or client. These kinds of images are things like lifestyle shots, which, like I've mentioned, you're actually showcasing what your product is going to be like in their everyday life or in their everyday use. You really want your followers or your customers to imagine what it's like to be in possession of your particular product. Another thing that people absolutely love is behind the scenes. Tell them a story of why you started the product, or show them behind the scenes of the manufacturing of your product, or how you came up with that product. Even though I have a little henna business that was mainly targeted towards clients, I wasn't really selling henna products or supplies. Although this can change very soon. I've gotten so many inquiries about actual henna products just because I started showing videos or behind the scenes of how I make my own henna comb. So showing people what it's like and showing them the behind the scenes of how you came about with your product, it's really going to strike their interest. And I really want you to think about it like this. If you're at a bakery and you walk by and you see a kitchen where there are chefs making their pastries and making the dough, you're so much more eager to actually buy that product or to consume that dough, just because you actually saw it with your own two eyes being made. Another thing I should also mention is that video is king on Instagram. Anything that allows consumers to slow down, users, or I guess Instagram consumers, but anything that really gets people to slow down their scroll to watch something all the way through, especially with video, the Instagram algorithm is actually going to rank you higher just because you got people to stop in their tracks. Video outperforms any sort of photos or any sort of posts on the gram. So if you show a video of your product being used, it's really going to make your post stand out and start to attract leads and customers. Okay, so I'm gonna get up now because people are passing by and I'm like this crazy lunatic sitting on the floor. Not sure if this is in focus. Yes, it is. The next thing is that you should be talking to your followers and not at your followers. There's nothing more dissuading than constantly self-promoting. Buy my product, buy this, buy that. That's really not gonna get you anywhere. I mean, really think about it. Have you yourself ever followed Instagram accounts that constantly self-promoted, or they're constantly pitching at you so that you can buy stuff? Probably not. So why do you think that that's gonna work on someone else? Instead, try to make your followers feel included. Create a community. So one of the ways that you can actually do that is by being active on Insta stories, or get them included in some of your decision-making process. A lot of the times I use polls so that people can vote on some of their favorite things. And so not only have they started to feel included in my process, but also this is great insight for me so that I get a better idea of the kinds of things that my current followers or potential customers are after. Kat Gaskin from the Content Planner actually does an amazing job at this. I've been following her for quite some time, and yes, I'm totally girl crushing on her. Check Kat Gaskin and the Content Planner out here. Content Planner is basically a planner so that you can plan out your content. It's pretty self-explanatory. So what Kat Gaskin does is every single year she asks her audience what color would they like the new content planner to be, and people get to tune in their votes of their favorite color choices. And I think that's an absolutely amazing idea to make your audience feel included and feel like they are part of your process, which makes them resonate with your product so much better and way more likely to actually purchase it. Another thing that you should also be doing is create shoppable posts. Instagram makes it really easy for you to have people actually click on your photo where you can tag your products and they can instantly buy your product from within Instagram. Mind freaking blown. There's a party going on right behind me. I'm really thinking of crashing. A while ago, I actually did this little experiment and I asked people on my Instagram, why is it that they follow me? And a lot of them concluded that it's because of the tips and tricks that I've shared online that really helped them and became valuable to them, which means become a resource to your followers. And this really goes back to that first tip that I told you, is identify who your audience is, because once you know who your audience or who your dream client is, like that one person, think about one person that you want to help out, and creating content pieces or creating valuable information to them, either through a shortcut or a helpful tip or trick. But being a valuable resource will allow you to become front of mind and will instantly be that trigger that whenever someone is thinking of, let's say you sell soap and they're thinking, I need soap, and they're gonna think of you. So how do you become a resource? Again, it all really comes back to knowing who your audience is. Once you figure that out, you're going to be able to come up with a list of their problems, so to say, or little annoyances that they feel throughout their day, and then you position yourself as the solution to these problems or little annoyances. So for instance, I'm a creative maker and I'm currently targeting other creative makers in the space to help them. So what do? On my Instagram, all I do is I'm sharing Instagram tips, I'm sharing business tips, I'm sharing little hacks or how you can create better photos of your work. Every single day, I am posting new images with these long captions that sort of mirror as mini blog posts. That is pure, valuable information. You need to start becoming a resource for your followers. So I know a lot of people have this misconception in thinking the more followers you have, the more likely you're going to be able to make sales. That's actually not true. You can have thousands upon thousands of followers. And having thousands of followers is not that difficult because you can literally buy followers nowadays. But having followers is not going to make that sale for you. What's going to make that sale and what's really going to encourage people to buy your products is engagement. So one of the ways to encourage engagement is by encouraging people to DM you. And I've actually started experimenting with this and it's worked wonders for me. Say you decide to do a specific promotion on one of your products. One thing that you can do is obviously post quality photos of your products. Again, you can check the video out on how you can grab quality photos yourself. Also pair it with a caption that says something along the lines of, I'm offering a 50% discount. If you're interested in getting that special promo code, comment below and I will DM you the code. And that way you are showing up in their DMs because you are cultivating that relationship with that person and you're you're making it way more likely for that person to actually buy the product because you're making it super easy for them by directly sending them the link. And also, you're gonna start popping up in their feed much more often just because the Instagram algorithm picked up on the fact that you two have been communicating, which gives Instagram the impression that that user wants to see more of your content just because that person actually engaged with you. So it's an absolute win-win. I am loving the shadows right here. Now I know you might have heard this before, but I don't think you've heard it this way. Start using ultra specific hashtags. But it's not just a matter of just using any hashtags at all. There has to be a strategy behind the hashtags that you're actually using. The more specific your hashtags are, the better, especially if you are a local based or a national based business. So a very, very common mistake that I see a lot of people doing is that they're using insanely popular hashtags. And I'm talking hashtags that yield millions upon millions of results. So let's say you're a baker who sells wedding cakes and you use a hashtag like hashtag wedding cake. That's really not going to get you far because far too many people are using that hashtag, which means that you're competing with thousands upon thousands of other photos for that space in order to be ranked and seen in the algorithm. Instead, you should be utilizing 3 types of hashtags that I say, either city-specific hashtags or industry-specific hashtags, or things that are complementary to your business. As a henna artist, when I was targeting South Asian brides, for instance, I'd be using a hashtag like Toronto henna artist or Canada henna artist. That's a city-specific hashtag. If I wanted to use more industry-related hashtags, think about the things that complement your business. So I know things like wedding photography, bakers, makeup artists, and I'd be sure to utilize those hashtags as well. And sometimes I even pair the city within that hashtag. So things like hashtag Toronto Indian wedding. So things of the sort is really going to allow you to rank higher in the algorithm because you're not competing with as many people, but also it's directed and targeted to the kinds of clients that you're after. Now, the other thing is that you also want to be using hashtags that is going to give you a chance to be featured on feature accounts or online magazines that have Instagram accounts. I've had the absolute honor and privilege of being featured in massive Indian wedding magazines like Indian Wedding Buzz and Shadi Wish. And basically what I would do is I would use the branded hashtags that they advertise for themselves. So I will use hashtags like hashtag Indian Wedding Buzz and hashtag Shadi Wish. So think about the magazines that are in your industry, those big magazines or even smaller magazines, and start using their branded hashtags as a way to increase the chances of you getting reposted by them so that more eyeballs can start seeing your products or even your services if you're selling services as well. If you're actually interested, I have this exact step-by-step process with a little bit more information in my free Instagram hashtags guide. You can check the link in the description below where you can download it and have all the hashtag wisdom that you need. It's actually insanely important for you to actually have a strategy in place in order to know how to use Instagram tactfully to grow your business, get clients, and get consistent paying customers. So how do you do that? I want you to hit the notification bell, subscribe if you want, because next week I'm going to be releasing a video on the best Instagram tips and tricks for small business owners. And I just wanted to say thank you so much for hanging out with me. Try to stay out of trouble, and I'll see you next week. So how do we I mess up all the time. I don't know why I can't talk.